How you doing? Today is Thursday evening, 7 o'clock, and welcome to Urban Facts. Um, Today we will be dedicating today's show to Miss Rachel King. Rachel was a victim of gun violence. She's a Pennsylvania teacher. She was shot and killed on Tuesday. That's April 11th in the morning at a Dunkin' Donuts drive-through. Unfortunately, her son was also in the vicinity, in the vehicle also when this tragedy happened. We definitely send out our prayers and support in regards to her family, the King family. The Ethel E. Zachary Foundation is definitely here for you. So we also have something else that we want to share with you guys in regards to gun violence. Now, gun violence is starting to really be a serious issue. And let's just start the video and we'll go from there.
Philadelphia police are investigating another shooting at a city rec center where children were playing. This time, a 15-year-old shot and wounded. The violence ironically occurred at the same rec center where city officials announced a new safety initiative just last week. Wednesday night, and the big story on Action News is a burst of gunfire at the Idenity Recreation Center in North Philadelphia. A gunman on a bicycle shot a teenager in the back and remains at large. Action News reporter Bob Brooks is live at police headquarters with the latest on what's become an unfortunate trend at city rec centers. Bob.
Well, Rick, all we can say is when it comes to these rec center shootings, the city of Philadelphia has a major problem on its hands. Now, when it comes to this shooting at Denny, it happened at 4 o'clock in the evening daylight. It has, but the suspects do not care. You'd think a playground would be off limits for a shooting, but that wasn't the case yet again in Philadelphia. This time, the crime happened at the Dendy Rec Center in North Philadelphia. Police say this masked suspect came up on a bike and opened fire, striking a 15-year-old in the back. The victim was sitting on a bench. Philadelphia City Council President Darrell Clark didn't mince words at the podium.
Unfortunately, now there's no place in the city of Philadelphia where there couldn't potentially be a gunshot.
The amount of shootings at city rec centers is disturbing. Since 2019, there have been more than 300 of them. Volunteers at Dendy seem exhausted.
Very tired, very defeated, but, I'm just a regular person. I don't know where they're getting these guns from.
Last week at Dendy, the city unveiled 100 new cameras placed here and at 13 other rec centers in the city, installed to deter this very crime. But a rec center employee union representative says that's just not enough to keep people safe.
There is nothing about adding security guards, nothing about adding social workers, nothing about adding recreational therapists.
Meanwhile, today, we saw tears stream down the face of a grieving mother at the Aubrey Rec Center. Jacqueline Satchel was surrounded by dozens of family and friends to remember her son, Dante Moore. The 24-year-old was shot and killed there last Friday.
He was a great kid. I loved him, and I'm always going to love my baby.
Police say they've arrested 23-year-old Zaire Ayers of West Philadelphia in connection to Moore's death. His mom adds she wishes her son never would have stepped foot in the Aubrey Rec Center.
I wish he would have just did what he was supposed to and stayed at work like he should have instead of coming up here to play. But basketball was his life.
Now, Rick, luckily I can report tonight that the teen shot at the Dendy Rec Center is in stable condition. As for Zaire Ayers, that young man now faces murder charges. Tonight we're live outside police headquarters. Bob Brooks, Channel 6, Action News, Rick.
All right. So, as you can see, gun violence is definitely becoming a major issue here in Philadelphia and around the world. Unfortunately, legislation in some states, even on Capitol Hill, don't see it to be that serious of an issue. I guess until, it starts hitting home for them. As to date, we've already had, I think it's 27,000 um gun related crimes where either a person was shot or killed. Yeah, I think I remember that's what the number was the last time I looked at it. I'll definitely, make sure that's accurate. But that's just like I said, we sending out our prayers and our support in regards to Miss King. But sometimes the prayers and the support, you want something more than that. You want something to be done, like I'm sure the King family does. And like I said, sometimes it's not always prayers and support. So, the best advice that I can give you guys as parents is to definitely be in tune in regards to what your children are doing, where they're going at, who they hanging around. Check their rooms when they ain't in there. I mean, it's your house. You can't be scared of your kids. Check their room, have a conversation with them. You don't have to be an authoritarian, but you do have to be an authoritative parent, just to make sure that, your child is safe. So today we will be interviewing this young lady right here, Miss Hazel Dunmore. And our subject today will be identity versus confusion. So, in regards to identity versus confusion, let me just give you a little synopsis on that. So, identity versus confusion, articulated by Erik Erikson, identity versus role confusion is the 5th of 8 stages of psychological development that takes place between the ages of 12 and 19. During this stage, adolescents need to develop a sense of self and personal identity. Success leads to the ability to stay true to oneself. Now, it's 4 other stages that's critical for this stage to happen successfully. Now, I'm not going to say if the other stages don't happen all that great that this won't happen, but it takes more support. They need to develop a sense of self and personal identity. Success leads to the ability to stay true to oneself, while failure leads to role confusion and a weak sense of self. In the latter phases of this stage, the child develops a sense of their sexual identity. Now, in society, we've come across, some children, they may have identity issues. And all of them are not, sexual identity. Your kid may go through a goth phase where they dress all black, or they might decide they want to be a superhero for that week or whatever like that. You know what I mean? But the identity is the based upon the development of you as a parent. The conversations that you have with your children and things like that. So we're going to bring Miss Dunmore on so we can get her, her insight in regards to this topic. Miss Dunmore, how you doing today?
I'm good, and yourself?
All right. How was your day?
Good work.
Oh, this is good. So tell us just a little bit about yourself. Tell us about your family life coming up as a child.
I was raised with my grandmother, my mother, brothers, sisters, my father. Pretty tight knit. Raised in church. Grew up a little bad, I would say. Not really bad, but I just had different issues, anger issues. Played too much in school. Ripping and running, a little disobedient at times, but overall, I grew up in church, loved by my mother and father, grandmother, family, close friends. We're really tight, small, but that's for the most part.
So you just heard me give, the stages of Erican's development in regards to identity versus confusion. Would you say that's a true analysis in regards to youth in regards to how they should sustain, who they are as a person?
A lot of youth, they don't know who they are. It's a lot of what would I call it? A fit in type of thing, depending on who you're around, where you at, where you grow up at, your environment, and also who raising you in your household.
Right.
So yeah, depending on how you're being raised, sometimes can dictate your personality, your traits, certain things that happen in your life growing up can also dictate the route that you go or the role that you want to take on as a youth growing up,
Right.
especially under
Right.
the age of like 18 and down, 13, 12. You really don't know who you are. So it's a lot
Right.
of influence around you that you just suck in. So you sucking it from your sister, your brother, your mother, your friend around the corner, somebody at school. So you taking all this in, and then you about 5 or 10 different people at the same time because you young, your mind haven't fully developed yet. So yeah, I would kind of say yes.
So what was your parenting experience coming up? Like what was the parenting experience you received as you came up as a child?
Well, my dad was a little strict and long-winded in prayer. So that was a little bit, but let me see. Parenting. My mom always was in church, so I guess like around the neighborhood, everybody knew my mom is Mama Glow or the church lady. So that was a thing also growing up. Like, oh, y'all the preachers kids, or the pastor kids, or the church lady around the corner. Y'all you a preacher daughter or something like that. Getting in trouble. I had to write Bible scriptures. Foolishness is bound in the heart of a child, but the rod of correction will drive it far from them. On a book, every line, maybe 2, 3, 4 pages. So that was from my dad. So I learned a lot of scriptures around my mom and dad. I think I had good parents growing up. They weren't really strict. I was able to have fun, enjoy my time, go to parties, enjoy myself as a kid. I did have times I had to be in. Sometimes I didn't come in at those times. But parent life with my mom and dad was pretty good growing up. I was raised in love, so it was kind of good.
So how important would you say parenting is to the development of children?
Is 100% important. If your parents aren't there in your life or able to help you make decisions or talk to you to clear your mind for you to understand what's taking place because they've been here before you, so they know a lot. I figured that out later on in life because I'm like, oh, I know everything. You can't tell me what to do. Okay, well, go ahead out there and make these mistakes when it's like a little bit easier if you do listen to your parents, because it is a lot of things that they know, that they seen, that they've been through, that they witness, that will help develop you. And maybe even earlier, if you do start listening earlier, you'll become smarter, to have a little bit more wisdom and know certain things not to do and certain things not to say at certain times. So parenting, being in the household or in a child's life, teaching them morals, teaching them about God, teaching them about life experiences before they get to those life experiences would be 100% plus. I think it's very important to have your parents, mother or father in your life to help you navigate through life.
Yeah, I agree with that. So tell us about the decision that influenced you in regards to changing your sexuality.
I wouldn't say it was really an influence. When I was younger, I thought girls were pretty or were attracted to them. I didn't even know that it was a thing, like it's gay or lesbian. I remember one time I was walking with my mom down Point Breeze, and we were going to this deli called Hoagie Town, and it was a masculine woman walking, and she's strolling, and my mom said something to the terms of something like, that's a bull dagger, because I didn't know what it was. So I'm strolling and I'm like, oh, I'm a bulldagger. And she, whop. I'm talking about it was so fast. It just popped me dead in my mouth. And I'm like, oh, I don't know what, like, I didn't know what it meant. I just saw somebody strolling down the street. It was a girl. She looked like a boy. And then from there, I grew up around a lot of boys, a lot of my male cousins. And in the neighborhood was a lot of boys. There was a couple girls. I really didn't know them like that, but I grew up with male cousins. So I dress, my mom buy me girl clothes all the time. And I'm like, all right, I'm gonna wear it a little loose. So I guess hanging around, that was a little influence, hanging around boys a lot. I'm a tomboy. I'm on the roof. I'm the only girl. I'm the only girl. It's like 10 boys. I'm on the roof. We running across the roof. I'm 11, 12, 13. We running on roofs. I'm in cars. You know what I mean? I'm doing a whole bunch of wild, crazy things that I shouldn't have been doing with them. So it was kind of like I took on that role, like, oh, I'm like more masculine.
One of the guys.
Yeah, like I'm one of the guys. And then they treated me as such. You know what I mean? So they're like, oh, bro, yo, come on, cuz, or you know what I mean? We're gonna go do this. So I'm like, all right, cool, we out. So I was really like one of the bros with the people that I grew up with. So then as I got into high school, because I had boyfriends before high school, I had boyfriends. Then when I got to high school, it was just like a whole different world. Like it was gay people, it was straight people, it was trans people, it was weird people, goth people, Chinese, black, white. I've never experienced nothing like this. So now I'm like, okay, because I'm hiding it at home. Like nobody know that. Like when I leave, I might have some boy clothes in my bed. I'm dressing like a boy, and then I come back home and I'm like, okay, whatever. But my mom buying me clothes. So I'm like, oh, mom, I don't want this. Oh, well, you're gonna wear it because I'm paying for it. Then I have to go get my own stuff now. If she don't want to buy me what I want, now I'm out grabbing my own stuff. So now I'm at high school. I'm meeting people, and I'm just like, oh, this person like me. Now I really find out, like, oh, you have a girlfriend, or you have a boyfriend, or is the same sex. I'm like, okay, well, this is okay. This is fine. Knowing I'm raised in church, so I'm like, you know what I mean? The back of my mind is like, okay, whatever. This is what I like. This is how I feel. So from there, it just went, okay, I'm gay, or I'm a lesbian, and I have a girlfriend now.
Okay. Now tell me about, how did your family and friends, how did they react to your decision once you, I guess you could say, came out the closet, or I guess that's a still term used, or whatever term used, I guess.
They still coming out the closet. It's still a term used. All the boys was fine. All the boys that I hang with every day, God brothers, cousins, they like, oh, okay, well,
yeah, because they already knew, huh?
Yeah, like, all right, well, let's go get some girls together. Oh, you gonna go? We gonna go holler? Okay, but my mom, I'm talking about hot, tamale hot. It just wasn't for her. I guess her being saved and knowing the word, and then it's so many other things going on at that time with my family, like the death of my brother Eileen, just a bunch of things going on, and then it's like everything's crashing down on her. I can really only say my mom was the only person that felt some type of way. I feel like she felt defeated at some point, like where did she go wrong?
Right.
You know what I mean? So it wasn't that, nothing was her fault. You know what I mean? It's nothing that she did that made me be the way that I am. You know what I mean? I was raised right. I took my own decisions, made my own mind up, and did what I wanted to do. So other people were fine with it. My grandma, I don't know if she was fine with it, but she was such a cool person. It was just like, okay, it's a phase. She'd say to my mom, like, oh, I went through that, when I was younger. Something, girlfriend before it, just a phase. She'll be over it. Give her a little time. But my mom, hands and knees praying. Hands and knees praying.
Yeah, I think for a parent it's more like detrimental, and then the parents do feel like, hey, like, where did I go wrong?
Yeah.
I think that sometimes with the peer influences that adolescents have, between 11 and 19, that's a major part, so That's why parents should, definitely at least know who your children are hanging out with.
Right.
Now, I'm not saying that that's 100%. The situations like that won't happen, but at least you'll have some insight onto like what's on the road.
Also, is like discipline. I mean, I don't have any children, but I know from other people and people that be discipline is in this generation is non-existent. So it's kind of like the kids just do whatever they want to do, say what they want to say, change their bodies if they want to change their
Right.
body. And I mean, like, you know what I mean? And a lot of parents aren't there. They might be scared of their children or just like, oh, whatever, let them go. But I feel like a parent, you should be involved in your child's life to know what's going on or have that open communication to talk to them and for them to feel comfortable enough to say, oh, mom or dad, I have these certain type of feelings, or I don't feel like I'm a boy, or I don't feel like I'm a girl, and get to the bottom of it, with a simple conversation. Because it's easy I mean, me and my mom have a good relationship, and it's always kind of been easy to talk to her. I just didn't know that. So as I got older, I realized that. So, and I feel like a lot of kids don't want someone to look down on them or, be like, oh, well, I feel sorry for you. You feel that way. Or, that's a shame that you want to do that. And that's why they tend to fall back and not really talk to their parents and would rather talk to a friend or someone that's doing what they're doing. They'll feel more comfortable because we can relate. Me,
Right.
I can't relate to my mom or dad, but if you consistent and not a drill sergeant, a lot of kids will come around. You don't have to be a friend with the child, but have some type of open communication that we can talk and have an open discussion where I don't feel as though if I say this, I'm gonna get tore down or spoke down on. It just be an open dialogue. You know what I mean? So
So you rolled back. What made you decide to,
I
revert
wrote
back to your original
um,
sexuality?
through throughout my life, I can say that I mean I had a lot of ups and downs in that lifestyle, out that lifestyle. It just came to a point where I just didn't feel God. Like I always believed in God. Um, I knew it was a sin, and I was just doing what I wanted to do. And then probably like 2 years ago, 4 years ago, I just kind of fell back from everybody, friends, girlfriends, everybody. Literally seclusion by myself, work home, and it was just me dealing with myself, reevaluating myself and trying to get a connection with God. So then when I gave my life back to Christ, I pretty much didn't I'm not going to say I didn't have those feelings, but they weren't strong. They weren't strong like they were. So I felt myself like falling back. It was something that I wanted to do like I'm done. Like
Right.
yeah, I'm just done. I'll gracefully bow out. I'm good. It's a plan for me. And I've been knew it was a plan for me, but I was living a whole different life. And then once I just felt something one day, and it 9 times out of 10 was God just saying like, stop, get yourself together. And that's when I just took a step back and I just said, I'm done, I'm good, prayed, and I really didn't talk to nobody about it besides God. I literally stuck to myself for like 2 or 3 years, just by myself, reading a Bible, praying. I read this book by called Feminine Progression and Set Free and Delivered. My mom had got me those books, but I was just going through my own thing, just reevaluating my life, seeing where I want to be, knowing where I could be if I hadn't made certain decisions back then. So it was just, I just came back to God, honestly. I just came back to Jesus Christ, and that was pretty much it. It was a wrap from there.
Now, you said you had some stumbling blocks in that lifestyle. Could you, elaborate on a couple of those?
Just mm, just situations. I just feel like it was things that could have been avoided if I wasn't in certain places at certain times. If I was obedient to what I should have been doing, then a lot of things wouldn't have happened in my life. Um, some things are a bit personal, so I really can't speak on those things, but
Right.
it was just dilemmas after dilemma. It was just like, just imagine you living this lifestyle, and at one minute you here, and then the next minute you all the way down here. And I mean, like, emotionally, my spirit is off. I don't feel well. My mind is going to another place. You know, I'm having different thoughts. Like, I feel like I was getting deeper and deeper and deeper. And it just didn't sit right with me. It was just something that just wouldn't let certain things sit right in my spirit, that I just couldn't allow myself to keep going down that road, if you get what I'm saying. So I went to jail over things in a relationship with somebody. So it was just a lot of ups and downs. Take Stealing your car, breaking your windows out, a lot of nonsense. Honestly, a lot of nonsense.
Well, I definitely, for one, and you'll probably be shocked to hear me say this, that, I'm proud of you myself.
Thank you.
You know, seeing you come up in the church, I seen you as a young lady, on the dance ministry, doing your little thing. And in society, you really can't be hard on folks in regards to what they do. Because, like you said, you can't be a drill sergeant trying to like push these instructions on somebody, because it will make them fall back. Because, like you just were saying, you don't know what the person is going through.
Right.
You know what I mean? And you've done an outstanding job. I don't speak to a lot of people just because I don't, may not say nothing to you when I see you. That don't mean I don't like you.
Well,
I'm just not social. But your mama tell you, like, I referred to her, quite a few times, and people in regards to folks that, you guys were dealing with the same similar situation. Let me see. Is this the book you were referring to? If I can bring this up. Is that the book right there you were talking about?
Mhm.
All right. So we got the book right here. So parents, if you guys feel as though you need a copy of it, we'll order it for you from the foundation. You can email us, because I know that's a touchy situation. You know what I mean? But we'll definitely get you a copy. So what advice would you have for people dealing with sexuality issues?
I think should be I think that you should give your life to Christ first. He the one that loves you, and it's a love thing. I feel like a lot of people are searching for love, and they searching for it in the wrong place, and everybody's so in a rush to be somebody that they're not, to fit into a society that really don't really care about you too much. I feel like you should seek God, pray, get counseling, talk to your family, because some people be trans and they take, hormones and things, and a lot of that stuff is harmful to our body. A lot of it isn't FDA approved. Even if it was, they lie. And there's people out here that take medicine, get things done to their body, change their body. They have back problems, muscle problems, and this is going to be lifelong issues that nobody speaks about.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's a lot of health things that aren't 100%. So at this point, we kind of like test dummies, taking medications that we don't know what it's doing, injecting ourselves with foreign things that we don't know what it is, and then nobody wants to get the vaccine, but you're going to take something you also don't know what that is.
Right.
You know what I mean? What else did I write down? Oh, the following trend thing. You look yourself in the mirror and just know that you're that person. Is no need to want to be somebody else or want to fit into a group. If you don't fit in, you don't need to be there. If you have to change how you look, change how you talk, change how you carry yourself to fit in with a certain group, that's not the group for you. You don't have to change. God made you fearfully and wonderfully made. You're made perfect. So changing yourself and trying to fit in, don't do it. Be you, 100% you. You don't have to fit in. God loves you the way that you are. You're literally made perfect. So with your identity and wanting to be somebody, it's something, it's in your head. It's in your head. I mean, they say it's a mental or disorder or something like that. I don't know. I'm not a doctor, but that's what
No,
their
that's
studies
true.
say. Like, it's something, a chemical imbalance or something. So it's something in your head. You don't have to take medicine for that because God will clear all that up.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, you don't have to take medicine for it. You seek God, He will change your life 100% completely and put you on the right path. So that would be my advice, to seek God. Don't put anything in your body. Don't take anything. If you feel like, oh, you're in the wrong body, you're not. God does not make, He does not make mistakes. Like,
That's right.
you literally don't make mistakes. You're changing what God made perfect. And there's a reason that you're made that way, because if God has a calling on your life, this is why you're like this. You're supposed to be who God called you to be, but we're not living in a society where everybody is following God or have a relationship with God. So the first thing would be to get a relationship with God and get to know Him, to feel His love and to feel that you are everything that you need to be without changing your identity and changing the person that you are.
Well, I'm gonna tell you what God telling me. He said, get ready to write that book. If you ain't started, I guess you might have started it from the smile. But because you have a testimony that is, like your mom was telling me, like, well, she said, baby, don't be scared to ask her anything. She'll tell you.
Yeah, I will. I don't mind.
Because with being on this platform, sometimes you have to feel like you want to. It's certain things that you can say and you can't say. But
Really?
when it's dealing with, I'm talking about myself.
Oh,
But when it's dealing with with children, and the confusion of it, you have to say it.
right.
You know what I mean? And we're not trying to offend nobody. We're just trying to correct people.
Right. Tell them the
You
truth.
know, even with the things that you said with the injections and the medicine and things like that. Go ahead.
Also, is within that identity and sexuality issues is spirits. And a lot of people don't know that you is a spirit on you. So you have this spirit on you. Like now, it's pronouns they, them. They and them are legions. It's many of them. So you're calling you want to be known as they or them. That's many
Mm-hmm.
demons. That's a lot of demons. So you have a lot of spirits and demons on you that you can't get off you. You don't have no life, no prayer life. You don't have a relationship with God to get these things off you. So then they get stronger and stronger and stronger and stronger until you don't have nothing left. You completely drained out. You done. You might want to kill yourself at this point. You didn't change your body, and now this 5-6 years later, you don't want to be that person no more because it's
That's
a
right.
feeling. Feelings change. I'm fine right now. I can have an attitude in 3 minutes. I can catch your attitude right now. It's a feeling. It's going to come. It's going to go. I might like you today. I might not want to talk to you tomorrow. These feelings come and go. So we can't react on every feeling that we get. Every feeling that we have, we don't have to react to it. We don't have to chase that feeling or, oh, it feels good. Because something feels good doesn't necessarily mean that it's right.
That's right.
So everything feels good. I'm gonna keep going in this direction. Whole time you sinking, you going on and giving yourself a place in hell. Sorry,
Mm-hmm.
I'm offended.
No, that's fine. You signing up first class with her.
You're giving yourself, a free ticket, and then
Right.
you continuously in sin, and that's how I felt. Like I'm content, and then I knew better because I was raised that way. I know the word, I know the Bible, I know scriptures, but I wanted to do what I wanted to do because I had a feeling. Oh, I like this feeling. Oh, I want to chase this feeling. I need this feeling. This feeling is good to me. Whole time, this feeling is damning my soul to hell. Whole time, this feeling is have my mind thinking things that I shouldn't think. Whole time, this feeling I'm putting on man clothes, dressing like a man, portraying myself as a man or a tomboy. But there was a spirit on me that had to come off me by the grace of God. So you dealing with spirits. We're not fighting with the natural world. Oh, I want to get this done. I want to get this done. We are literally fighting against principalities. We can't see these things. People don't see these things that you're
Mm-hmm.
fighting with. So you really have to get right with God. Honestly, you really have to get right with God. There's no other answer besides get your life right with God and get a relationship with Him, because He's the only one. Him and His angels are the only ones that can defeat demons, unless He give you the power to cast them out.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, and then you don't have no power. So if you don't have no power and you praying casting the demons, you not casting, the demons is laughing. They like, "Mm, what you doing?" That was like, right back on you is a show. So yeah, them spirits, they are hard, strong spirits. They are very, you can see today, them spirits are strong. They are very strong legions. They're
Well, you definitely gave me an insight in regards to, the them and they. I wasn't even thinking in regards to like the legions, but it's no, when you say they, it's no number. Like it could be like me and you can walk to the store and they say, hey, where Gloria and Abdul go at? And the response is they went to the store.
right.
Me, you, and your mom, same response, they went to the store. Me and you went the whole block. Same response, they went to the store. You know what I mean? And when you're not properly parenting and you confide to society's norms, then you don't really know what you're allowing you or your children to go through.
Right.
So I'm definitely proud of you. I see you out there preaching and, doing the will of God, and your mom is definitely proud of you. You are definitely a walking testimony. And like I said, get that book ready, because you have a voice that people want to hear. You know what I mean? I wanted to bring you on. This was something that I dealt with in regards to just trying to bring this issue to light to people. You know what I mean? So they can see like the clarity of it. Now, I'm not gonna lie, people will see this, and tomorrow won't be no change at all. Or you might have some people that are like, hey, I want to get myself together. You know what I mean? But now that we've done this, it's no excuse for somebody to say, hey, I didn't know.
Right.
If they seen it. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I would love to have you again, see what you got going on. And it was definitely a pleasure to see you again and to get this wise information from you.
Thank you for having me.
All right, no problem.
See?
And you did wonderful. So you don't have to be nervous. You were excellent. You were definitely better than some other people. So,
Thank you so much.
all right, take care.
All right, goodbye.
So that was Miss Hazel Dunmore. Like I said, if you guys want the book, where's the book? This book right there. I can't read what that say to save my life, but we will, get you a copy of it. You just have to, put in the comments right there. Or if you don't want to put in the comments, you don't want to put your information out there, you can email us at elzfnd@outlook.com, and we'll go from there. So, next up we have, let's see here. Hold on, wait a minute. I need like a technical support person. A moment in Black history with Miss Ambrielle Parker. So we're gonna bring Miss Parker on. Hey, Miss Parker, how you?
Hi, I'm good.
How you doing today?
Good.
All right. So what you got for us today?
Today we'll be talking about Harriet. So Harriet Tubman was an abolitionist and activist, started in the Underground Railroad on this day. Her story was of bravery in Tennessee. Harriet Tubman was an African American abolitionist who was known best for making 13 missions to more than 70 slaves from south to north. She accomplished that by using a network of anti-slavery activists and homes that were friendly to her cause, a system known as the Underground Railroad. Born in Maryland into slavery, she was beaten by her masters into her youth. She became a devoted Christian who said she often had powerful visions and dreams from God. In 1849, she escaped to Philadelphia, and within a few years, she started to rescue her family, one group at a time. When the Civil War began, Tubman worked for the Union Army, first as a cook and a nurse, then as an armed scout and spy. She was the first woman to lead an armed expedition in the war, having guided the Combahee River Raid, which liberated more than 700 slaves in South Carolina. In her later years, Tubman worked to promote the cause of women's suffrage. She died in 1913 and became a celebrated American icon after her death.
All right. For some reason I can't see you. I guess you are in the dark. Oh, there you go, right there. Put yourself back on there. So question: what did you learn from this moment in Black History today?
Um, I learned more about Harriet Tubman because before I just thought that she worked on the Underground Railroad, but I didn't know that she was also a cook in the Civil War and she was also like a spy. I didn't know that about her, and that was just fun facts to learn about her.
Oh, okay. I appreciate your time, and I definitely enjoy spending this time with you. That you educating people in regards to Black history. So we thank you again, and we'll see you next week.
Hi.
All right. So we got that Black History moment. Also, don't forget about the youth conference. We definitely need your support with that. We definitely want to make this happen. So you can be a sponsor. That's our Cash App right there. That's ELZFDN. And the name of the conference is Don't Give Up Hope. So we have Miss Jada Smith. We have gospel recording artist and Stellar Award nominee AJ Evans. We have Miss Purple Blackwell, granddaughter of Janie Blackwell. And we have Mr. Dr. Alfonso Evans. He just won a principalship award the other day ago. I had the pleasure of being there when Dr. Evans received the award. So like I said, we definitely, need your support in regards to that. We try to do a lot of things for the youth. We're currently working on a leadership program to help guide and direct youth to more positive and influential, matters in life, situations. So what else we got going on here? I actually need somebody to do this part of the show. So if you IT savvy, don't be afraid. So this young lady right here, her and some other youth, that's Amaya Monet Parker, they put out some information to candidates to become mayor for Philadelphia. Unfortunately, none of the candidates replied. They put an article in Scoop USA, one of our sponsors, and we got mentioned the sponsors too, in regards to how egregious it was that not near one of them replied to the youth. We got certain candidates talking about potholes, talking about they need to fix the street lights. But why are you fixing the potholes? So they can have a smoother getaway when they kill somebody? And what you need the lights fixed for? I mean, don't get me wrong. Gentrification is very important in the city. But if you're not trying to stop the crime, you putting up new lights and and filling these potholes, it's just making it easier for them to commit crime. So, you gotta, you want to have your base to be supported in regards to issues that the youth find valid also. So Amaya will be being interviewed on CBS Morning News. As soon as we get that information, we'll get that out there to you. So what else we got going on here? We already did that there. Oh, hold on. All right, so we always do a birthday shout out. So we're going to do a shout out for, I don't want to kill this young man's name, Kasi Vincent Lamont DeSario, DeCesso. Please let me get that right. He's a newborn. He was born April 4th. We definitely want to give him a shout out for just coming into the world, coming in and starting a life here, planet Earth, Philadelphia. We definitely wishing him and his family a happy birthday and many more. And we'll look forward to, seeing what Mr. Vincent is doing next year when we give him a shout out then. So happy birthday, young man, from the Ethel Lee Zachary Foundation. So, I had the opportunity to speak at Blinkenberg. We did a career day, and my job was to come in, tell the youth what I do, as an entrepreneur, a business owner. And I just wanted these children to know the values of college, of education. So let's look at that. So if you're looking at the chart, you should see that the very top level is less than a high school diploma. So when you hear people say, you don't necessarily have to go to college, well, this definitely is saying different. So a less than a high school diploma, that means you don't have a high school diploma at all. In some jobs, you get $32,000. That's not a whole lot of money at all. That's probably somewhere around the range of between maybe $5 and $9 an hour. High school diploma, you're looking at $42,000. Your rate, your pay might have jumped up to maybe $10 to $12 an hour, if that. Attended college, but didn't finish. It just went up $4 more thousand. 2-year degree, that's an associate's degree. As you can tell, the pay difference isn't that the pay isn't that different. So it's just like a fancy high school diploma. Your 4-year degree, that's what you're talking about. You're looking at some more better money. Your master's degree, that's $81,000. PhD, your professional degree, you're looking at some nice figures right there. Parents, you got 12 years from, actually 13, kindergarten to high school to make this a reality for your children. Now, this ain't got nothing to do, actually it just got something to do with identity and confusion also. Because if you can't see the importance of you as a person to want to have a successful life, then you are living in confusion. Like I said, you are living in confusion. And we want you guys to realize that education is prominent, very important. I'm 47. I'm in a master's degree program. I mean, sometimes I feel like I shouldn't be 47 in a master's degree program, but I am. Now, if I had the correct parenting or somebody to push me and say, hey, keep going forward, then maybe I wouldn't be. But I am now, though. And that's another thing. Age doesn't matter. You can be 65, 105. If you can walk in and out of that door, go for the degree. You being the top manager at McDonald's or the sous chef at Capitol Grill, that don't really bring in no money. And here's the thing. You're not used to money. So when you see, somebody saying, we'll give you $60,000 a year, your eyes will light up because you ain't used to that. for some people who ain't used to that. So if your eyes is lighting up at 60,000, imagine what they do at 100,000. So please, education is very important. So I did see somebody asking a question. What book was that? Let me see here. We can get that information. So let me put it back up here. So this is the book right here. Feminine Progression, How I Walked Out of Masculinity. That's by Sophia Ruffin. Like I said, if you guys would like a copy of the book, just email us. You can email us right here, and we'll order you a copy. We definitely want you guys to have a true sense of identity, to know who you are as a person. And that's very important, because just like Hazel said, she didn't say this exactly, but if you confused and you don't really know where you fit in as a person, then you'll do anything to yourself. Injections or some of these things is unreversible. So if you having surgeries, or you trying to go all the way with the sexuality, tomorrow you can't change your mind. You just gonna happen to be a man without that little special somebody or that special thing. Or you gonna be a female with something extra. And it's important for parents, if you guys don't know, we got the internet. You can look up anything. If you can go on the internet to try to find a man, you sure enough can go on the internet to try to find what to do if your kid is having an identity crisis. And it's not always about sexuality. Like I said, these kids could be golf. They can think that they're another, from another ethnicity. My mom, Ethel Lee Zachary, she could pass as white, because her dad was white, but she was black. Now, I'm not sure if she was having an identity crisis, but she sure enough would fit the, fit the category for that. You know what I mean? This is a serious thing. Now, I'm not, if you cool with your kid being that, or that's something you want to do, then hey, have at it. But if it's parents that you got concerns with this, and like Hazel said, some of y'all scared to talk to your kids. You can't be scared of something you brought into the world. Now, don't get me wrong. These kids is a mess sometimes. Now, they'll say it's crazy. One of my kids told me I wasn't spiritual enough to understand the situation that she was having at school. Oh, Lord. I ain't never hold on to the stairwell of my car so tight. So that, she wouldn't get backhanded or whatever like that. But she don't know. She thinks she knows everything. You know what I mean? And I can't blame her for that, because you want to at least have some type of intellect and some type of insight in regards to things. And it's our job as parents to say, hey, that's wrong. Not like you see your kids come in and you like, they doing something crazy and you just like, oh, whatever. It's whatever that your kid is sitting in credit for right now, a CFCF. Or just the funeral service is waiting to be planned out. So we want you guys to have the best possible relationships with your kids. And you can have the greatest kids in the world, as far as society-wise, but they'll still challenge you. Why you think I'm talking about education? You can't have intellect if all you have is a high school diploma. I purposely named this interview Identity versus Confusion, because that's something that I just learned in a class that I was taking. You dig what I mean? And I wouldn't have known that if I didn't seek higher education. For you to have a better lifestyle, for you to have a happier life, a healthier life, it's not going to just fall out of a tree. Everybody's not going to be Michael Jordan. Everybody's not going to be Jay-Z. Now, if you just happen to do that, then hey, more power to you. The college degree is the backup plan. Most of the people I know have college degrees. Hazel's mom is in school right now. I'm in school. I'm 47. Hazel's mom is 100. Nah. Evangelist is very young for her age. But college education is paramount. So please just don't, if you say college ain't for me, you got to make it for you. And if you ain't had good parental support coming up as a kid, I didn't have it either. There's other resources out there. You can learn anything from the internet. You have to be willing to learn it, though. I love you guys. I wouldn't be, saying all this if I didn't. Just like somebody saying, yeah, there go Evangelist Gloria right there. It's never too late. And it's not. I remember I was in Temple. I was in Black family class. This lady walked in. She was an elderly lady. I thought she worked there. She was a student. Why she was there, that ain't none of my business. I just knew she was there. She looked like she could have been well into her 60s, maybe touching 70, but she was there. Where you at right now? A high school diploma is not enough. And parents, stop telling your kids, well, as long as you get your high school diploma, I'm good with that. No, don't be good with that. What the heck you going to do with a high school diploma? Well, they going to take you out to Artie's and buy you a number one? So no, we do not want to do that. You want more than a high school diploma. So, like I said, we got this conference coming up. It is July 15th. Let me pull this up again. Let's see here. Oh, actually, hold on. Because I got to definitely make sure I put this up. So next week, we will be interviewing Mr. Sean Grant. And, no, it's not Sean, that's Hazel. And his son was murdered last summer. North Philly area. It was all over the news. So we'll be talking and honoring his son's memory. Sometimes this is the outcome when you don't have good education. Now, I'm not saying that his son died because he didn't have good education, but the person that killed him obviously didn't, because they didn't know who they was as a person. And whenever, I believe the person is in custody, but their life is ruined now. You can't turn back when you take somebody's life. Just like we just said with the sexuality thing, you're doing all this stuff to your body. Some of them things are non-reversible. But you're not going to know that if you don't have any type of education, if you don't have any type of intellect. So that's it for me. I want to thank Hazel again. I want to thank you guys again for tuning in. If you guys want to give, let's pull that up there. It is ELZFND, or $, that's the Cash App thing, $ELZFDN. And all the money goes towards the mission of this foundation. And that's to empower youth culturally and educationally so they can have hope, so they can see opportunities that they have in front of them to have a better future. Well, that's it for me. You guys have a wonderful night. God bless and good night.